I have a question. Actually, I have two questions for you.
Okay.
Number one, are you ready to stir the pot a little bit?
I always love to stir the pot, Keith.
And
you know me, my friend.
have you had any conversations with Dad about EVs? And if not, maybe we...
Yeah, we have. We've talked, Dad and I have actually talked extensively about electric vehicles and the current, situation in this country with oil and fuel and the gas engine going away potentially. I mean, he's on the same page, as we are, which is, yes, we know they're making big moves. A lot of the automakers have obviously gone there, but it remains to be seen whether or not that'll be successful in regards to infrastructure and being able to support that.
Right.
So he's very aware of what is happening. He's old school, like most of us gearheads are. We want the gasoline engine to stay around just because of what it is.
Yeah.
But we find it hard to believe that some of these goals of 2035 are actually achievable.
Well, and, it's kind of like, a 5-year plan that they are, presenting. They're presenting their 20-year plan, and they're going to change that plan in 5 years, So they're going to adjust it.
Mm-hmm. Let's get it. What do you think?
I think it's feasible. It would be interesting to see how someone would come up with perpetual charging of these and I understand. I think some people are using their braking system to generate power to recharge the batteries. I think that's going to be where it is. Is it possible? I think it is, and it just takes a lot of research and trial and error to reach these goals. And but really, if this comes to pass, which I think Ford says by 2035 and GM, that they wouldn't be making any more gasoline. But that's a broad statement. But
I don't think they can do it in a blanket. Like there's going to have to be heavy duty stuff, and
Yeah, we're in complete agreement with that, Dad, and that is truly the case. That we understand the movement in the direction that it's going, but we think that some of these predictions or goals that they have of in the next decade to achieving that.
Yep.
I don't. It's right now with current technology and current battery technology. I don't know that it's possible. Keith and I have always agreed that if you're going to get there, we feel that the EV market is going to probably have to change. So what we know now as battery technology is going to be completely different in the next decade.
I mean,
that's just how it works.
We already know, Nissan, for example, is, we think, working on something kind of like what your dad just said there, where perpetual power from a very fuel efficient, thermally efficient engine, and that sort of stuff. So, and for those of you just dropping in on this segment, not catching the full podcast, which by the way you can do over at partscounterguru.com, click on the podcast tab near the top left. That's Jay's dad sitting off camera, which I'm really thrilled that Jay could, first of all, talk him into doing this, and second, carve out some time while he's hanging with his dad to sit in with us.
Yeah, he's put in a full shift today with me, so I am very appreciative of that. I'm in his personal space here, but this is his getaway. So trust me, this is his happy place.
So it's the best. That's no better place to record a podcast then. So we've got Rivian. And I mentioned when we kind of started this segment about stirring the pot. So there's this. It's really interesting from we as Americans love to pick teams. We love to pick sides. We love to we love the clashing over differences of points of view and opinions. So we have this whole thing going on right now in this country with electric pickups and who's going to be the first one to production.
Who is that?
Well, I mean, so
who's going to be?
What you want me to say, what I'm not going to say is that Lordstown Motors claims that they're going to be the first. Now, they threw in the first commercial pickup truck. I still don't that's just marketing to me. But you've got Rivian, you've got Tesla with their Cybertruck, which technically is a pickup truck, and you've got Ford that just announced the F-150 Lightning. You've got GM and the Hummer EV, which is also a truck. Well, who's going to get there first, right? And, I don't even know that first matters that much, except that we all are now watching this contest.
Well, I don't think that it matters either to the industry. But it matters to me because we got some people out there that just seem to think that it's going to happen with a specific company, and it's not going to.
Well,
they're not going to be first. It may not even happen.
Unless there is an advantage. I'm still not going to take the bait. Unless there's an advantage, kind of think like Microsoft did, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you think about
right.
Apple and Microsoft got there first in terms of having the better marketing and staking their claim in the business
mm-hmm.
sector
back
in the late 80s, early 90s. And they experienced a lot of success because of that it took Apple almost went bankrupt. They had to borrow money from Microsoft, and it took them decades to recover. So getting there first could potentially, from a sales perspective, it could matter. I guess I'm kind of stepping back from what I said earlier. But why does this guy, Steve, what's his name at Lordstown, care about being first? What does that matter to him?
Well, I think because of his investors, I think that he's throwing that shade out there because he knows that he's got a lot at stake here and he wants to keep everybody interested in his product. Now, let me just say this. Let me be very clear to our listeners out there, Keith, which, by the way, thank you for watching this episode of Parts Counter Gurus. If you like this segment, please hit the subscribe button and click that bell so you're notified every time a video like this comes out. For those of you listening to this, thank you. I hope that they are successful at it because we need to have options for consumers out there. Okay?
Absolutely.
Don't stop at just Tesla and Rivian. Okay? So you've got Tesla, Rivian, Ford, GM. Everybody's out there going to put a truck out, and that's fantastic. However, Lordstown continues to have a little issue here or there and delaying the first production vehicle.
Well,
but we have someone here. Yes.
Well, I was just about to say that the fat lady's not singing yet because
that's
now
right.
Now we have information from Rivian that they are delaying their release. So they're in production. Right. They're already in production. But they are pushing back the release and the first deliveries until July of 2021.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Instead of
July
June.
of 2021 instead of June. Now, albeit that is not that big of a deal in the bigger scheme of things.
It's 1 month. Okay.
It's 1 month. But what I found interesting, and I'll read this to you guys, and this is from an article we picked up. Rivian said that deliveries of the R1T Launch Edition, the limited edition release of its first series of electric adventure vehicles, will be delayed by a month, according to an update on its website. Now, customers who pre-ordered can now expect to start receiving their pickup in July instead of June. And then the launch edition deliveries will be completed, they say, in spring of 2022.
So it'll take them 6 to 8 months to complete deliveries.
To complete deliveries on that. Now, if you think about that, 1 month is not that big of a deal. What I found most interesting, and Keith, you and I did not know this, the chip shortage obviously has really, really messed up production for a lot of the automakers. But apparently Rivian is building a vehicle that does not require as many of them, is what they're saying. And it hasn't really... It has affected and delayed a little bit, but not as much as one would think.
Fewer parts in these EVs. Yep. Which you've been saying for a long time.
It's not the root cause.
Yeah.
Right. It's not the root cause. So
it's a combination of small issues, shipping delays, which, that goes all the way back to, the ports in LA and being backed up and stuff getting, just anything coming internationally, there's just been all kinds of delays. Can you believe this? I was, we're getting ready to go on a trip, and I've got a motorhome, and I was out looking to change the oil in both the actual motorhome, the engine, and then I've got a Cummins generator in there that takes different oil. And I was going to change the oil in both of those. Everybody's out of motor oil.
Right.
Right. To be fair, I could find it, but I would have to switch over to a different brand that I wasn't used to using. Or on my, I'm kind of particular on the motorhome. They put the fill tube like so far up, it's literally sitting right underneath the dash. And I can't take those gallon size. They won't the big gallon size containers. I can't get them to go into a funnel. I have to use the little quart. And that's okay. But I digress. That's not what we're talking about here. But the point is, these delays are becoming commonplace. And
absolutely,
so
they are.
A month pushback isn't really, oops, we messed up at Rivian and we have to go back and fix something in our production system, as much as it is we just can't get parts.
Exactly. And just that, and the pandemic has it's a trickle down effect, if you will, or ripple effect, because they had started construction on the expansion of one of their facilities, but they had to slow it down because of the pandemic. So they're still feeling some of that overall, from the pandemic. So a lot of that is kind of coming in, but it seems to me they have done a really good job of keeping pace. On pace with that and keeping their promises. RJ Scaringe is, if you follow him on Twitter, which I recommend everyone do, he is continuously updating his customer base.
He's a total gearhead. He's a guy. I have a feeling he's a guy we could sit around and have a beer with. The three of us and him.
I would love to sit down. Oh, by the way, RJ Scaringe, sir, Mr. CEO of Rivian, I'd love to sit down and talk to you.
Well,
so
you guys are practically neighbors, so
we are. By the way, we're going to be at SEMA, sir. So you should come check us out.
Well,
so
go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I was just going to say this. Despite the delay, it still looks like Rivian.
Here we go.
Sorry, Lordstown fans. It still looks like Rivian will be the first. Just saying.
There you go, everybody.
I don't have a crystal ball.
Hey, if you want to find
out,
if you want to come back and tell Jay he was wrong, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, follow us when it happens. We welcome your comments. We'll talk about it in an upcoming segment. How's that?
There you go.